So welcome to the Let's Play panel.
Woo!
You know what? Wait. I saw the size of this line, and are you guys really just gonna do that for like waiting that long? Louder.
Thanks. Holy crap, there's a lot of people.
Should we go left to right?
Yeah, let's go left to right. Let's start with introductions.
I'm Andrew. I don't actually have a Let's Play channel that's my own. I work with a guild of MMO guys called the Vindicators. I guess I'll go. Yeah.
I go by the username ZeroMaster on YouTube. My YouTube channel is ZeroMaster LP, where I do solo LPs and a show where I hang out with my brother and other friends, playing games and yelling at each other, called Power Plays. It's just about having a good time and whatnot. So we got a whole lot of different types of shows to talk about. So I'm gonna stop talking.
I'm Jenny, and as of right now, I'm just kind of a Let's Play fan. I'm starting to get into Twitch streaming, but really I've been into like the Let's Play fandom for maybe 2 or 3 years now, so yeah.
My name's John. I actually do not follow any specific Let's Players. I tend to use them for underplay or underknown games, Japan games, things that don't have walkthroughs yet, etc. No. My name is John. I don't follow any specific Let's Players, but I typically use them for underplayed or rare games. And I guess a lot of my background comes from production issues and stuff that I find issues with Let's Plays, like people not knowing when to stop talking, people not EQing their audio, and etc.
Yeah, I would have been interested in really classic thing.
And our late friend is...
You came in armor, you better give a good introduction.
My name is Eric, and I really love Ventus from Kingdom Hearts. And I'm just someone who really enjoys watching Let's Plays and figuring out, what I like in terms of games and watching other people play them for me.
We also, I don't know where he is, but Winslet 13 is supposed to be here at some point. He does Let's Plays as
We got
well.
a sixth person.
Yeah.
We only got an hour. I see we get.
All right.
Get the show on the road.
So first of all, I guess we should just say, does everybody here know what a Let's Play is?
Yeah. I already know.
What about the difference between a Let's Play, a walkthrough, all that funny junk, a stream? Okay. So I guess you could just open the floor, I guess, with some questions. Everybody's pretty much got an idea.
I was gonna throw one out.
Yeah, sure.
Why do you guys use Let's Plays, and what do you use them for specifically? I gotta go with Lumpy over there.
Thank you. Well, I like them a lot for entertainment because, I don't know, it introduces you to new games as well as sort of giving you ideas. Like, Minecraft is one of the biggest Let's Plays that people do, but there's so many variants of it. It's so interesting to see what people do with it. You got maps, you have mod packs, you just got vanilla, challenges.
Every single Let's Play for Minecraft will be different, 100% different.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
hundreds of other games. Like if you like one YouTuber doing, sorry, you're scaring me. If you like one YouTuber and they'll start doing like things you never heard of, I was introduced to so many new games because of Let's Players. Like I was introduced to the Assassin's Creed series, I was introduced to BioShock, I was introduced to Minecraft.
Broadening your horizon and making you
Yeah,
realize
exactly.
that, oh wow, there's so much
There's
more
other
than
games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Like instead of watching like reviews where there's some bias to it, you just see the raw emotions of the players, and you just see how much fun they're having with the game and whatnot, and you get a better feel.
There is something that is so human about a Let's Play.
Yeah.
I found years ago, I very rarely watch actual trailers for games now. It's one of those things where, oh, it's out, let's see how somebody reacts. Are they going to be pissed playing it? Are they going to be frustrated after playing it for a half hour? Or are they going to be like this for like 2 hours? We've all had that. I'm pretty sure you guys
Reminds me of
know
the
that.
Mario Party 9 launch where a guy was so into it and then he's like, this is different. One thing I guess I think I'll ask is, how many of you guys watch the more entertaining sort of gameplay shows like Best Friends, Game Grumps, that kind of stuff?
I have an issue with the groups.
So, well, we're not gonna shoot shots here.
Well,
so.
no, I'm not going to shoot shots. It's just they got rid of the best person on the show.
Yeah.
Who is going to be at Con Bravo.
We're not going to argue because it's going to be a big fight between who's better, Jontron and, you know.
No, there is no argument.
I like them both for different reasons.
Yes,
You know what?
exactly.
I like Danny and Ross playing together for the main fact that.
I find Ross so annoying though.
But that's why Ross is there. God,
Guys,
damn
we're
Ross.
taking away.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, really quick. I like watching the Grumps mainly because you do get a different variety when each of them play different games together, and that you're not being forced to like watch them just complete Mega Man. You can like watch Steam Train for a couple minutes, switch back, and they have a lot of variety. But more often I'm watching Markiplier now, just because I feel manly when I play those games because he isn't. So I'll go and play Rust for 15 minutes, and my friend and I'll be like, oh, we're gonna go gathering. And we'll do our little thing and then come back. I'm like, hey, we didn't scream like little girls when that guy came out of the bush. And then like 5 minutes later, I'll watch Markiplier and like someone ends up in his house and he's like, ah! So that's why I watch.
With the main reason I want to bring that up is because there is a difference between those kind of shows, because those are more for entertainment, whereas Let's Plays are more for information. Oh, we have our 6 panelists there. When's it 13? We seem to have run out of chairs though.
You can grab this one.
Oh, sweet.
You can sit on that little table.
Yeah.
It might not fall, but
Oh, I thought he was gonna put it on the table.
I thought he was due for a second. That would have been awesome.
Just king of the lip.
The Let's Play.
Oh, okay. I like to talk to my computer screen, not a bunch of people. This is gonna be weird.
Is he actually?
What? Yeah. I don't know. I get an email that says people are there. I'm like, okay.
What's
I
the
show
anime
up.
north? What's the anime?
I don't know, some place where people gather and they do
Some
things.
crazy.
I was gonna say, how do I get a panel by myself and now I'm on this thing?
But I mean,
Yeah.
again, in terms of Let's Plays, again, you guys know what a walkthrough is, what a Let's Play is. Why would you guys go to a walkthrough versus a Let's Play versus a Let's Play versus a walkthrough? What really encourages that different?
Well, for me, if I'm playing a game and I want to suck it apart, I'll watch a walkthrough just for the quickest way to get information. While Let's Play, this might not be necessarily I'm playing the game or not, I just want to be entertained and see how the game's played.
Or like, how can I do that in the same way while yielding the most reward without fighting this and doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy in the back.
Yeah, I watch Let's Plays mainly for the personalities that the people have.
Oh, yeah.
Like comedy from different people like Markiplier or Nerdcube. And then there's the informative things that walkthrough players make sure to do. Like they will hunt through the levels and tell you all the special tricks to give you either an advantage or some cool things that you might have missed the first time around. While Let's Players generally just play through the game and try to have a lot of fun with it.
yeah, like a lot of Let's Players, no offense, aren't even that good at the game. Like it's kind of funny to watch them mess up, especially with like for example with Achievement Hunter. Really, the only good one is Ray. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Gal over there, you kind of kind of for a bit, yeah.
I'll usually choose Let's Plays over walkthroughs. While walkthroughs are good for kind of a quick explanation, for one, you feel better about yourself because they sometimes feel more than you do, and you're like, oh, well, I don't suck that much. And on the other hand, it's also, if you are stuck at some part of a game and you do look at watch a Let's Play, it also gives you a bit of a commentary as you're going through it. So it's kind of, this is what's happening, and it kind of, I guess it adds personality and also adds instruction as well.
If somebody is overwhelmed by a game or has trouble following plot, Let's Play is nice because you've got that hand holding you, right?
Exactly.
One thing that I've always found personally, and I don't know if you guys want to comment or not, I oftentimes will turn away a Let's Play because there's a literal spoiler. With a walkthrough, that is one of the few advantages of a walkthrough. Walkthroughs are information. I don't mind reading that the guy dies as long as I don't see the big scene with everybody crying and blah blah blah, because it's still going to have that impact. But that's one of the negatives and positives for me. It's like, I can look this up in a walkthrough, there's no spoilers. If I see that in the Let's Play, I'm gonna know what happens. I'm gonna know that at the end of this game, so-and-so dies, and it's like, oh, that's
It brings up a good point though, because some games like you just don't want to play, so you just watch somebody else play it just to see the end.
Yeah, like I personally cannot play Amnesia. I tried it once, and it's just like meth. Not even once. And I got like through the first encounter, and I just had to stop. But watching other people play it, because I'm not the one peeking around the corner, I felt a little bit safer.
Yeah.
I guess one thing we should discuss is the process, because that's a question that I get asked a lot. How many people here have done a Let's Play before? Or how many here would like to start doing them but don't know how? Okay, so I guess we'll go over the process real quick here. It's actually not as difficult as people like to make it out to be. First and foremost, have some games. If you don't have any games, you can't do a Let's Play. And when you're starting off, pick games you already know how to beat. Like something like Donkey Kong.
Pick something you're familiar with. Don't pick something and go into it fresh.
I'm the Mega Man guy. I always feel
safe.
safe.
Also, try to avoid, especially if you want to get something finished first, try to avoid something super, super long. Because it will, like, as you're recording, you think everything's, oh, I love this game, I love it so much. But once you do, like, 50, 60 parts of something, it actually really, like, becomes like, oh, here I go, I have to play Final Fantasy VII.
Really? I thought it was...
Because the other thing you need to know, too, it's not like regularly playing a game where you can just sit there and crank it 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
If you're recording, it's like... It's a lot easier to get exhausted because you have to be constantly talking to someone. You can just sit there and play a game in the dark at like 3 in the morning by yourself. So, the other thing is equipment. You can't. Okay, emulators are good for anything that's PlayStation and older. But
unless it's a Saturn.
You need this is for PC games too. You need a screen recorder. Or if the emulator is built-in recorder, which I personally recommend, but depends on your computer speed. You want a decent microphone. Don't buy a mic from Staples for $5.
Get like a unidirectional or something.
And
you can pick them up for like $20, $30.
Headsets are okay, but they're not that great for recording games. I'd recommend.
Well, some of the gaming headsets are not too bad. Like the ones that are $30 to $40 that actually have decent microphones because they're made for people that are like yelling and screaming at each other over a league or something.
You have to be able to hear your own feedback. If you can't hear yourself, you're not going to know how loud you are. You're not going to know the audio levels between the game. One of my personal beefs, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this panel, was that so many Let's Plays are not EQ'd well. You'll have the volume of the game like super high, and the guy's talking like this, and nobody can hear him. And I'm like, why am I watching this? Like, why didn't you just EQ it and normalize the audio? It's so
also pro mics are great, and they're not necessarily expensive. I have a Blue Snowball, $40 mic.
Yeah.
And it's good for just single people, and if you have a group, there's an option on it so you can record a group a lot easier. There's also editing. Depending on how you do your show, maybe you'll leave everything in, maybe you'll cut stuff out. This goes back to the EQ thing. When you're recording everything separate, which should be recording everything separate anyway, the game audio and your audio are going to be different levels. This is one of the few skills you can learn like really easily. Just look up the tutorial on the editing software of your choice, Movie Maker, Vegas, Premiere, whatever. And there's options on how to make sure your voice is high enough and the game audio isn't too low to where you can be heard, but it's still hearable and there. With fraps, you sort of don't have a choice unless you have an export or a secondary thing to go if your computer's fast enough.
Yeah, we got 2 questions.
One more right over here.
Okay.
I was just about to recommend the Blue Series
Yeah.
Another software recommended for PC recording stuff is DX Story. It mostly works, like it has a more limited selection of games works with than Fraps, but when you record, you can actually just split the audio into like the speakers and your stuff.
A friend of ours actually used a virtual audio cable, which also works, but it doesn't work for anything it doesn't work for Windows 7 unless you tweak it a lot. So
nothing works for Windows 7, man. You say this like it's like
I couldn't get it to
even Audacity starts to chug after a while and break.
But
over here?
yeah.
Yes. had sort of one thing to say about editing.
Yeah.
One thing to watch out when recording both gameplay and your audio, make sure they're synced because they will often get out of sync. It's very, very important. Watch your sync because if it's out of sync, it ruins the entire video.
Yeah, a very easy way to make sure you're in sync. If you're using a capture card, which is mostly what I use, is to know what the delay is on it. Usually I'll start my audio first and I'll count down. I'll say 3, 2, 1, click, because that means I've clicked the record button. Then I wait for the delay and I say, okay. That tells me in the editing, this is where you cut, this is where we're starting. And then everything is synced up right. With the HD PVRs, they have a different delay, so it's all trial and error. So don't make the first video you ever record with your new hardware a Let's Play because you want to test it first.
If you get new toys, have some fun with them. Screw around with them, see what they're. There's a lot of people have the perception that new and fresh equipment that you buy is always going to be top of the line. Not true at all. A lot of the most mechanical things are stuff that come out nowadays and are so user friendly that they become hard to use. Especially if you want to do something that's like simple, you know, it's
there was a question right over here.
Yeah.
Just more related to what they were talking about earlier this evening. But on that topic of the equipment, the Apollo PVR box is so bad. The software they offer on the site.
Is it new? Is this like a
it came out
Don't update it,
when
that's
it
why.
started like
If you update it, it screws your frame rate to 120.
When I first got it, it worked like all right, and then one day it just stopped working entirely.
Yeah, like I use my HoPod for pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And, well, don't get the Gamer Edition 1 wasn't very good, so I got the regular
that's
edition
all that I
one, the first regular edition. The new Gamer is actually really good.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, like I'm looking at getting the Rocket just so I don't have to have the PC hog all my power for recording.
Also, going back to some of the audio stuff, I always leave buffers at the beginning and at the end. So just say you're like at 10 seconds is when I'm going to start. So that gives me time just in case there is some sort of delay in my audio, my actual personal recording, or the actual game's audio, and it allows me to correct it. So it's not like, oh, I have to botch this recording because it's like half a second off.
That's a first rule of thumb with editing. Always leave yourself space. Anything. If you drop a drink, if you got to go to the washroom, if your mom is calling, anything, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just have
your
that
mom
in.
calls, cut it out. Every time I record, I got a call. Oh, I wonder who this is. Be right back.
More of just an easy way just to like sync it up. Actually, I don't know if I'm just really not technical about it. Just turn the TV up really loud and then put the mic to it.
Actually, that's not a good thing to do. Like, you want to use the audio you recorded from your input.
He's talking about in syncing purposes.
I mean syncing.
Oh, yeah.
I understand that. That can also be a thing, but when you're recording your audio, sometimes your audio could be a higher quality than what's coming out of the TV.
Oh no! I mean that. I mean just to line them up, and then I cut that off, and then just help sync everything up in the beginning.
We got one at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you find easier and funner to record, older games or newer games?
Oh, I get it.
I'm more like to do retro stuff. Yeah. Let's all answer. I mostly like to do retro stuff. I do some new stuff. In fact, my most popular videos are of Monster Hunter. So I get a message every day. When are you doing the next part? I'm just like, I should probably do more of this. But no, I love the retro stuff. I'm doing Pokemon Silver right now.
So. Oh, nice.
I love retro stuff, to be honest with you, because you usually don't have to jump through as many loopholes. New games are great. Oftentimes, the kind of audio, the fact that they're in HD, etc., the fact that they could be on a different channel or need to be HDMI or what have you, or surround or whatever, can really overcomplicate things, and that's just me being lazy. But at the same time, it's just easier to do it for old stuff. I agree.
That's the thing too, like, because standard definition capture cards are getting harder and harder to get because they're not making them anymore. So, like I said, anything PlayStation or older, you can use an emulator and they'll pretty much be perfect if you have a computer that's 10 years old at least.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah.
So 10 years, if it's older than 10 years old, well, you might want to upgrade. But
like the ZNES emulator has been perfect.
I actually use SNES 9X and I use its built-in recorder because then I can split everything up. The only thing is, like, if your computer chugs, it doesn't record the chugging. So you have to fix that in edit post.
So it desyncs itself, yeah.
So yeah, because it's not recording the lag, it's just recording the game, your input, and that's it.
I actually end up using Camtasia Studios to record a lot of my emulators. I don't use the built-in stuff because it does have a lag. And the files can range depending upon how graphical the game is, but for anything that's like 8-bit, 16-bit, I'm chugging out like maybe a 10 to 15 minute part, and it's like 20 megabytes when I'm actually finally uploading it. Yeah, it's not bad at all, because then it's quick and easy for you guys to download, especially on the go and stuff like that.
Makes it more accessible.
Yeah.
The only problem with having new and flashy is that you have to assume that everybody else is on that standard, and it's just not realistic nowadays.
We got some questions right here.
I think older games are sometimes harder to record just because we run into the problem of compatibility where you have to get DOSBox for some games.
Yeah, when it comes to PC, that's a different thing. I mostly do console, so so I use capture cards and stuff like that, or emulators and stuff. DOSBox, like I think one time I tried to record the Mega Man PC game. Don't.
Why did you even?
Because like you can't.
Did you just want to stab here and just keep stabbing?
I was curious, okay? And the problem is DOSBox you can't control the underclocking of your CPU that easily, so the game runs at like way faster than it should.
Yeah.
So,
Game's already a PC.
Luckily, a lot of older games now that are on
back in the day.
a lot of newer games that are coming out on Steam are come with DOSBox already set up for them. So like if you bought, I don't know, you buy the King's Quest collection or whatever. Same with GOG, like they're already set up so that they have DOSBox settings built into them because they know you're running a newer PC. And the great thing about it too is any IBM compatible game will work on any computer today because all computers are IBM compatible. So if the game's from 1972, if it was IBM compatible, it will run on your computer.
Hi, I don't understand the things that you're saying. Can you explain them in more common terms?
Does anybody know what IBM is?
That's why they am computer guys.
The original, one of the original.
I'm just asking because there could be some people out there that are like, what are
it
you
was
talking about?
the first time, like, there was the Apple II, which was the first popular home computer. Like, there were tons, but it was the most popular. IBM sort of started the whole Windows PC popularity. It started with DOS, but that's where we are to now. They're all based on those old machines that were made back in the 80s. So any game that would work on an IBM PC-88 will work on your new computer now. You just got to tweak it.
This person in the back there, you have a question?
Usually do consoles, so you use a lot of capture cards. What capture cards do you like?
I've used Dazzle's the most common for older stuff. I've used it. It works great, but it has it's me and a couple other people have had sound issues with it, like the sound will stop. I use now the AverMedia USB Maker Gold for anything SD. The software, it comes with Power Director, which isn't bad for recording, and it's actually comes out pretty good quality too. For HD, I use the HD PVR1. It's component, and it does anything from N64 and up. Well, if you have an adapter. And then there's now with the HDMI stuff, there's HD PVR Rocket or the AverMedia Live Game Recordable, which you don't even need a PC for anymore. You just hook it up to the game console and hit a button.
I was going to ask a really generalized question, just to sort of get the ball moving again. How many people here use Let's Plays for sort of a directional thing to help them get through the game, etc.? Yeah? How many do it for comedy or for shits and giggles? Okay, I wanted a bit of perspective just to see where people are coming from. What is funny or awesome about watching other people go through a game? I gotta ask the guy in the green just because their reaction.
You're watching someone else do it, so it's like that would not be as funny if that happened to me.
Do you like watching somebody screw up?
Yes.
Especially when they start raging and you can tell that it's like, all right, calm down.
I got this applies to us. This isn't out yet because we've got a backlog of stuff. This man owns a CDI.
Yeah. That's a pity clap. Thanks.
We played Zelda Wand of Gamelon.
That's awesome. I got really good at it by the time I went crazy. We're about what 65%.
We're about 65% through the game.
Through the game.
We beat most of it without a walkthrough. Like we were like, things are happening.
Yeah. We also played a game called Wacky World of Miniature Golf, and that was hosted by Eugene Levy, which is probably the best part of that game. But
so those kinds of things are mostly done for entertainment. I like doing those because I find another thing too. Game show games are safe because someone will get mad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Party
15
game.
minutes on Wheel of Fortune for the Genesis. What do mothers wear when they take their children to school?
What do they wear, Zero?
I left. The only answer we got was pants. There was 8 answers.
What? We misinterpreted the question on what a mother would wear when they took their kids into school in the morning. The word morning is the big thing. So things like hair curlers and slippers and all that was on the list.
Sounds
And
like
it was
somebody
like,
was dropping.
oh yeah, and it kept ringing us, and he just walked out. So
I was done.
Is it one of those like old school like you're wrong?
Yeah.
Restart
Here's the thing,
again.
though. Like we were thinking, like first of all, with the game that old, you have to think in the mindset of 1993. So we didn't think stereotypical.
That's like over 20 years ago.
We didn't think stereotypical enough. That was the problem. So we were thinking, she business suit because maybe she drops her kids off before she goes to work. Nope. Pants.
Go for it. We got you.
Yeah.
In response to right now, a combination of both comedy and informal. One Let's Player I definitely pay attention to. Well, 2 of them technically, but one of them, Chip Cheesem from Something Awful.
Chip Cheesem, yeah.
Yeah, especially with his Metal Gear Solid Let's Plays and his 50 Cent Blood on the Sand Let's Play.
Oh my god.
where he would go out of his way to try to cover as much of the game as possible, as well as do a lot of funny things. And like 50 Cent shaking that booty.
Go 50, jump over this big ass ramp.
and he has some really good transitional effects too. Like he'll shoot a rocket launcher at one of 50's co-op partners, and then edit the game to where it looks like he transformed into a different partner. So creative editing like that, I really love.
I'm sorry, can you
Sorry, I know sometimes people really like overreactive YouTubers, but I sometimes like deadpan humor ones, like Critical.
Yes.
Critical. Oh my God.
Those are honestly
more
the
funny than
Oh my god.
those are honestly the funnest.
I was showing you
It's
that.
so monotony interesting. It's crazy.
The entire weekend, this man's been playing Critical. What was that one where the guy's at the door? What was it?
Guys at the door.
Bloodbath Babysitter.
Yes.
That was
Oh,
amazing.
the cow.
We got somebody over here.
Hey, I heard at the beginning you said pick games that you know how to beat and like that you're familiar with, right? But like, what if they're popular, or if they're like either popular or really long?
Well, first of all, if it's popular, somebody's gonna look it up. So you're gonna get, the top guys will get top billing in the search bar, but there'll always be that person who's like, I don't want to watch PewDiePie play this. I'm gonna watch Joe789 play it. And I mean, like I think my best stuff I did Let's Play wise is I did the entire Donkey Kong Country series, like the first 3 of them.
Nice.
The best part was that I died at the minecart stations 18 times.
Yeah.
And how would you deal with like super long games? Like say, I heard it mentioned like Final Fantasy VII, you cut like all the grinding out, but I mean, it's still
Well,
really
it's
long.
because you will, even as a Let's Player, if you're doing it for fun and you're getting all the different things together, you will have to have a plan for something like that. You're gonna be like, all right, today I need to get past Fort Condor or something like that. So you have to get your grinding done. You need to make sure your materials are all set. So when you start recording and you're going through the story, because that's what a lot of people are going to watch for.
Lots of
Let's Play.
multiple saves.
Tons of saves, tons of everything. It actually gets really complicated, and it will sneak up on you really, really quickly.
I can relate to this. That is the big thing for me that I use Let's Play for, is a lot of old RPGs and stuff like that, where there aren't walkthroughs, there aren't intricate things for this and that. And a lot of the time, usually, they're really, really misjumbled. Really, really misjumbled. Because you can tell the guy didn't plan. It's like, no, you get to this level, you know you can steamroll a boss, so that your let's play goes smoother. You don't want to have to kick your ass and have to restart 50
Yeah.
Well, in my Skyward Sword Let's Play, I did I did it blank. I did it like fresh start, first day it came out, and I went and did 100% completion. And I tried my best, not letting the commenters spoil things, and trying to go through. I have a Let's Play that's like 93 parts long, but now you look at other Let's Plays of it, and people have finished it in 40 and 30, and I'm just like, gosh, I must have been super slow, but it was really me just enjoying the game the way I wanted to, and I got a following because of it.
And that's really what it's all about.
Exactly.
Another thing too that goes back to your question, grinding and farming, if it's not necessary to what you're doing in the game, just do it off screen, because they don't need to see you grind 10 levels.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could fast forward it if you want, but you're gonna be an entire episode of fast forwarding. So this guy's had his hand up.
If I may just add on to that, like 90 parts may seem like a lot of episodes to go through, but there are some Let's Players out there who take the same game and then just play it over, like the Binding of Isaac, Northern Line covers that one. He has over like almost 800.
I think he's at 835 or something.
I mean, each like Let's Play, each one is different, and he streams it as well. So
exactly, it's not that it gets old. It's just you see if I'm someone watching something, I'm going to look for the personality first, and like you said, you won't care how long it is. Where some people just see the number and they're like, whoa, I don't have that much time, and then they spend, like 80 hours watching Game Grumps or something,
I got a bunch of questions. I think I just wanted to mention this.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's worth a mention because you were talking about hits as well. While choosing something common can do that. Having a lot of videos. I know people that get the shirt. Okay, I want to. There's like 200 of them. Fuck that. Okay, let's keep scrolling. Yeah, that can deter. And it's unfortunate because if you're somebody who is watching it to sort of help you get through the game, then that can really deter your.
At the same time with that struggle that people watch you go through actually helps them more sometimes. Like I've had some times where I'm just like, I'm not stuck at something, but then when I'm like, that was really hard when I played through that, for my own fun, and then to see someone else struggle through it and being sort of like that, you feel like that guardian angel, just like, please, you can do this. You just need to hit him with the poison.
Make that jump. Just there's
and a lot of people sort of like that. I like to imagine myself as a guardian angel to the Let's Player as I'm watching them.
Your ego just gets
go for it.
A little bit bigger, right?
All right. So
how do you go and decide what annotations to put on your videos at the end or in the middle or whatever in order to connect to other videos that you've done? How do you decide which ones to go for?
Just like a blanket template of like, this is my last name.
Some people do like end slates. Me personally, I'm lazy when it comes to Let's Play videos. So I just put the annotations in the top corner. So here's the last part. Here's the next part. So and with annotations, always link it to the playlist link of the video. Don't link just the raw video, because if you forgot to annotate one, they're gonna have to find it, and people don't want to look for it. So that's why I make playlists, and I always.
But they help out a lot. Mm-hmm. Like the idea of an end slate seems dumb at first, because you're like, there's an extra, maybe 10 minutes, like my first time through making it. But I feel like oh, I can see the next guy's part, or I can see another Let's Play that he's sort of put on, and you just do it. I don't know how it even makes you, like, I hated annotations when they first started, but now I use them to get around YouTube rather than the stupid search related bar.
That's how Chugga Conroy got popular. Because he plays popular games, but a lot of people will come to it and they want to watch the first part. Well, you're not just going to watch the first part. You're going to watch the first 20 parts. And if they're not laid out for you, you're not going to want to go looking for them. So it's, sometimes I will, but if I really care. But he has annotations. Not only that, he puts a lot of editing into his videos too, so he's a whole nother beast.
Who's that? What if you're worried about spoiling something for people? Like if it's a really hard game, like you're playing like Dark Souls or something, and you don't want to I don't know.
There's two things you do. One, you can put an annotation on the video saying click here to go to this time to skip it. Two, you can just cut it out. If you're really, really concerned of other people watching it, but some people might want to see it regardless. Some people don't care about spoilers. So
there's a few guys I know, again, going back to the RPG thing, because that's where I come from in adventure games. they'll have all the gameplay. As soon as they get to like that character or that castle, it's like, all right, black screen, and then here's where you control again, and there you go. I always thought that was pretty safe too.
The best thing to do is inform your audience.
Let them
Spoilers
know.
coming out.
You're watching this out of your own accord.
However, it's your first time playing it, you won't know. So editing always helps too.
I always have that same idea though, that I am putting this up on the internet. You are on the internet. Things are spoiled on the internet.
You gotta be ready.
Quickly.
You gotta be ready.
So if you really truly don't want to have something spoilers, why are you looking up Dark Souls 2 bosses? You know, like this is how I go about it. I'm like, yes, I'll warn them at the beginning of the Let's Play that this is a spoiler Let's Play. But if you come in at part 20 and you're like, oh my god, how could you put that on YouTube? Well, I'm definitely not the first, and I'm definitely not going to be the last, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, well, the guy all the way at the back side's
Oh.
for like 5 minutes. Yeah, Dry?
So like I know how like people like the two best friends play like the JoJo Bizarre Adventure Fighter, and that's in Japanese.
Yep.
How would someone go about interpreting like playing a Japanese game for an English audience, like the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game for the PS2 that never came out?
Yeah, I can relate to that. Are there any people in this room that play a lot of JRPGs? Okay. Way back in the day in '99 when Persona 2 came out, they only released the second half of it over here. I had to go through the first half in Japanese. And eventually there was a guy that released a Let's Play of it and basically did it piece by piece with him talking and doing rough translations. That's still going on, and people have sort of built on that, and I like that. I mean, with the new JoJo game as well, I was thinking about that the entire time. So yeah, I mean, was it more of a question or a comment?
Well, like how would someone like interpret it, like someone bringing a Japanese game over for English audience and do a Let's Play of that?
Well, there's a lot of walkthroughs I know that actually do that. Like they'll just have the translation and it'll be there, and you just basically pop and insert. So this guy's talking. Oh, okay, that's what he's saying. But I mean, you would obviously have to know Japanese.
Yeah, especially for long, like story-heavy games. For import games like fighting games, for example. You can like screw around in the menu for 20 minutes. You're like, oh, I found verses, yay! And then it's just like choose your own character and then just press buttons. You know, like it's really simple for two people to pick
A lot
up,
of people
but-
also do is people who do those Let's Plays is they play through the game once and they used a translation guide.
Yeah.
To play it, like you can't play Super Robot Wars unless you've played a Super Robot Wars game before, or you have a translation guide. That's the only way you can play it. So if you're watching a playthrough of that and there's no English patch for it yet, then they're using the guide to help you. Yeah. Like I love Super Robot Wars, but I can't tell anybody how to play it because I'll have to spend 30 minutes explaining what each button does.
Yep.
That guy right there.
Back when how you said don't let's play a game unless you're really familiar with it. What about some games that are like Sims or MMOs where it's kind of like
Well, let me be more specific. I was talking about your first time.
okay.
For your first video, make it something you know, because if you start off with your first video and you don't know what you're doing, then it's going to be a lot harder for you to want to do it. I've done blind LPs before, and this guy's he did Skyward Sword blind. So like, there's nothing wrong with doing a blind LP. It's just for your earlier ones, make it games you know. If you know a game, you can get it done a lot quicker. Like, especially RPGs. RPGs are going to be long anyways. So if you're doing a 100% run of an RPG, you're looking at least 100 parts. If you're doing it blind, you're going to have probably double that because you've never played it before. So.
Got some questions on the left.
On the left, yes.
When it comes to games like horror games, do you think that the LP should be like the first time you're playing through? Because otherwise you're kind of losing some of the reactions that you'll be getting from the different cutscenes and things like that.
It depends if that's what your show's about. Like if your show's about is about reactions or
Like Amy
entertainment
Jordan.
like that, or like when the Game Grumps did, was it Silent Hill 2? I think it was. I can't remember. One of the Silent Hill games.
Yeah.
Danny had never played it. Aaron had played it, and it was funny listening to him react to it because he doesn't like scary games. So
I have a bit of a story, if I could tell.
Yeah.
The Last of Us. When The Last of Us just came out, I had a friend of mine that was very, very on the fence about buying it. And of course, I'm like, you're an idiot, just buy it, trust me. Of course, she wanted to see a Let's Play first. And I remember him playing it, and two things happening. Wow, this combat looks really, really awkward. It doesn't look fun. And number two, this game doesn't look scary. Well, I told him to shut the Let's Play off after he saw basically the first season, and then he went out and bought it, and completely different reaction. Because it is one of those things where when you're playing The Last of Us, yeah, holy shit, you're gonna get scared when a guy comes at you with a shiv from behind. It is very scary.
Yeah,
but watching somebody like, you know, frantically hack away at somebody with an axe who's like double their size, or like shoot at somebody, it's just not the same amount of thrill. So I totally know what you're saying with the horror games there.
But even though I know things are coming, like if you play Resident Evil 2 and the
Do you
dog,
still- do you
the
still
dog,
jump on it?
oh hell yeah, the arms that come out, you're like, here's the arms. All right, I'm not gonna jump, and then you go, ah! Every time they just pop out, and then it's just sort of like, oh well, you can never be prepared for it.
You LP'd Resident Evil 4 what, 4 times?
4 times, yeah.
And there were parts where you're like, I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this. Yeah, the cabin fight. No one wants to do the cabin fight. It sucks.
What's the name of those spiky zombies and you have to shoot the infestations inside them? Those guys scare the tits out of me, man.
Oh,
my god. The noise that they make, the breathing.
Yeah, those.
And you turn around and
regenerators.
It's like right there.
Regenerators. Yeah.
Scrolling the
Skills out there. Yeah.
Down the line, who inspired you guys to start Let's Playing at all? Like, who's your first Let's Player?
We'll start from left to right.
Oh no, I gotta think way back. You go right to left.
Okay.
All right. First Let's Player that I truly watched. Oh goodness. Yeah, it puts you on the spot.
Yeah.
Like I definitely know that I did watch a lot of Nintendo Capri Sun in the early days, as well as Chugga and all those guys. Like mostly because they were playing games from my childhood, things that I really enjoyed watching and searching for. I sort of have dabbled sort of in, like now, into like sort of more recent people and stuff like that, but I just prefer normally people that are around my age demographic, and like, well, I want to show my love just the way that they showed theirs, you know, so.
I'm not a Let's Player, so I can't answer that. Unless you just want to give like an example of who was my first. Probably Game Grumps, and they probably remain my favorite because they have gone so far beyond what a Let's Play is. Like they even the notion of what they do. Ego Raptors, his sort of like retro reviews, like where he compares like Mega Man Sequelitis.
He's
Sorry.
finally getting the next one done. He released an update.
I really like the Mega Man X one, and I know that I'm not necessarily in the vein of good opinion with this, but I loved his Castlevania one, his Castlevania 4 one. Whip it good.
See, I'm not really like a Let's Player either. I'm just kind of starting out with it. But really, I think the first person I ever watched was probably Captain Sparkle's Minecraft, which, like, it's kind of nice because you don't really have to know the game to watch the simpler ones. And unfortunately, I think I actually watched PewDiePie play Amnesia.
Oh,
that was painful.
I'm also going to cut in just again. Just putting it out there. Did anybody see any of a guy by the name of Jew Wario's videos? Anybody?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I just want to put it out there. Rest in peace. If anybody's familiar with. Yeah.
Me personally, how I got into it, I have to go with as well. Nintendo Capri Sun was a big inspiration because he's like this 40-year-old guy who just has a million stories to tell. So like. It's like story time, NCS. So you'll watch him play like Yoshi's Island, and he talks about. The other thing too is before Let's Playing was a thing, he was doing this. He was filming himself playing games. So he has like a 20-year backlog of VHS tapes where he's filmed himself talking while playing games. So before Let's Playing was a thing, and he was a big inspiration to me because that's one of the things that I really put out there. I'm like, if you don't know what to say, that's the hardest thing to do. Knowing what to say, talking all the time. If you don't know what to say, tell a story. That's where I learned that from. And then when he did Runaway Guys, I got the original idea from that when I decided to do my show Power Plays because it was between me, my brother, and our best friend Corey, and we'd been playing games together since like kindergarten. So the whole point of that show was we're friends hanging out playing video games. And now the shows, we've got more guests from time to time, but it's still the same thing, hanging out playing video games. So it's not really a Let's Play show, it's more of a let's hang out and play video games and see what happens. Usually it's funny stuff.
Well, when your first thing was actually a co-op with me.
Yeah.
You know, like
the first LP I did was Mega Man X, and it was co-op commentary. So
yeah, and we've gotten finally after what, like 4 years.
we just
of
finished X5. We need to upload it though.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
And
getting
it's-
to the
yeah.
you're getting to the what many people consider the not very shiny,
the very debatable
stuff.
You know what?
Yeah.
I get shit for this, but I still love X6. That's another game that I have.
What's your first Let's Play?
The very first Let's Play was linked to me because I was talking about Minecraft, and then one of my friends from college had sent me a link to this disturbing game called Happy Wheels. and I was like, how can I not win this game? And then some of the levels are really hard. So he's like, if you're having difficulty here, watch this guy play. And it was Tabascus. And it was really before he blew up, and he was still like that guy at his parents' house playing. And to me, it was like, well, at least I'm not the only person having difficulty with this game, so you know what? I guarantee I can do his levels faster than him. And then that's when I started recording with my guild, the Vindicators, and they're like, we can't put this up on our website because you're terrible. So then I just stopped completely playing those kind of games, and now we do a lot of the MMO stuff. So we've been doing like the beta for WildStar, and the NDA was lifted, so we got to put like if you're having trouble with this boss kind of stuff. So like I kind of like the tutorial side of Let's Plays.
I'm someone who's starting out as Let's Plays as well, and just like you, my first Let's Player was Toby Turner. This is around the time that LA Noire came out, and I was like on the fence about getting it because it looked really cool, but at the same time I was like, I don't really have $60 to spend. I'll watch him play it and see what I like. And just, he's got this, he just keeps you so like entertained, and he keeps you so in the moment. Like you don't want to ever, you always want to keep watching it. You never want him to run out of content. And when he stopped making LA Noire, because he stopped halfway through and he hasn't picked it up, I was devastated.
Yeah.
Like I can't watch anyone else play it but Toby Turner.
That's the sad part about that. Like I remember watching a guy named Ghost Robo, and I kind of liked him at first. I liked him for he was very spastic. He was really engaged and into the game. Then he got popular, and then he dropped everything and just sort of does every new game that comes out.
Yeah.
And it puts a sort of damper on it. And like even I don't like not having my own completed Let's Plays. Like I'm looking at my Chrono Trigger, which has sat there for almost a year and a half, and I'm about halfway through the game now, and I still haven't finished it. And I'm like, after this Let's Play, I'm going to finish this, and then I just do something else. I'm like, and there's fans that will send me messages on YouTube, or they'll comment on the last part saying, "Where is the next one?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'm done. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that person."
Just one, because we're running low on time. I just want to get to another piece of advice. I get asked this question all the time. How do you do commentary? Well, there's a couple of different ways. The first thing is like, it's hard to talk constantly when there's no one there, technically. You're watching it, but when you're recording it, it's just you, a microphone, and a game.
And your cat looking at you weirdly.
And the cat looking at the waveforms on the computer and chewing it. So the biggest thing is like, just have something to talk about. Like, if you're at a part in the game where you can't really talk about the game, I don't know, tell a story, tell something interesting, talk about a topic like, I don't know, new game coming out, whatever. It's just find something to talk about. It doesn't always have to necessarily be about a game. If it's in a part of the game that's important, you should probably talk about the game. But if you're just surfing in Pokemon, waiting to find trainers, don't just say, "So yeah, I'm surfing." Still surfing. So
look at Tentacle.
The other thing too is post commentary isn't a bad thing either. Post commentary though, it lets you collect your thoughts. The only thing is now the process is twice as long because not only are you recording the game, now you have to record yourself talking about the game afterwards. So if you're not sure how you want to do it, try a couple of different ways first. The other thing, sound interested about what you're talking about. Don't record at 4 in the morning whenever we're sitting and be like, "Hello, welcome back to part 18 of Let's Play, yada yada yada." Sometimes take them off guard. Say, "Hello, welcome back to the Let's Play, yada yada, part 18. We're going to go in here and do a thing." Be energized. Don't stand there just and be chill. Like, you can be chill playing the game, but be into it because they're going to know if you're not into it.
But even then, like you can tell when I've recorded like 4 or 5 parts in a row because the energy starts high in part 5 or whatever, and then at part like 7 you're like, Welcome back, guys. We're fighting trolls.
Or the
Some
best
more.
the best one is when you're like, all right, I'm gonna end this part and do some grinding and I'll be back. 2 hours later, welcome back.
Yeah.
I just grinded 10 levels.
Yeah.
How are you doing? So, be interested.
To that point, I would say if you still feel awkward after doing a few practice ones, have a friend go with you. That's one of the things I learned from the Game Grumps is that if you can't do something on your own, like have a friend that you can bounce commentary back and forth with, and just have a lot more fun with it.
I have another thing to put on that.
Okay.
If you're having somebody do a show with you, make sure you tell them we're gonna have to stop so I can set up the recording and all that. We're not just gonna sit here and record whatever. Like you can record like 2 or 3 hour stints, but then you risk like losing all the video and audio, losing sync, cutouts, all that stuff. I usually like to record no longer than an hour's the longest in an increment, unless it's a game like Fortune Street where it's at least 2 hours, and I'll just record the whole
When
thing.
the Grumps
through.
did Fortune Street?
Oh, that was
the
Runaway Guys actually do fantastic Fortune Street, so that's another one. But like most games, they're like, okay, we're gonna record 20 parts. You realize I'm gonna have to stop every like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Just make sure they're cool with that
A
because
15-minute part takes about 30 minutes to record.
like because originally
That's
when I
the rule
started
of thumb.
doing power plays with my brother, he's like, "Why we gotta keep stopping? Let's just go." I'm like, "Because what if this recording screws up and we lose all this stuff we recorded?" He's like, "Okay." So now he's gotten more into it. So like if you have somebody with you, make sure they understand we're stopping a couple times. We're taking breaks because I have to stop and make sure everything's worked.
We got 7 minutes, and I count about 7 hands, so we're gonna just start here, keep your hand up, and we're gonna go. Go!
Well, one important thing about Let's Plays is that do talk about the game and do talk about yourself, because I think that a lot of what draws us personalities of the Let's Players is that you start to know them. They always tell you stories about their life, like, oh, here's a funny thing about me. I remember this when I was a kid, and blah, blah, blah. You get to know them, and they start to be your friends.
Yeah.
And that's a really important thing, so
Go.
it's good for buffers.
I'm just curious, when I play games like Pokemon, you're obviously going to do a lot of the level grinding off camera, but when you're going through like routes and stuff, what do you leave on camera and what do you cut out?
First of all, buy a lot of repels. Buy as many as you can get, because otherwise you're gonna be like, and I'll be right back, and then cut it, and I'm back. Oh, 2 more steps, I'll be right back.
Well, a lot of people will do the repel thing, and then just the trainers. The trainers are the battles that everybody wants to see you fight, right? So unless it's like, oh look, this is another bug catcher that has another.
The best battles to watch is the fishermen who have 5 magic cards. That takes forever to kill. And
the last
they give
one's
you no
always level
experience.
15 and it
Or
knows
like the
tackle
first
and it throws you
Metapod
off
at the
guard.
beginning of the game, you have to keep tackling, and the Metapod's freaking using hard, and it's like, stop, I want to kill you, stop. Like,
It's just
come on.
basically when you're the first viewer, so when you're watching it and editing, you're like, I don't need to keep that in.
Unless you say something really ridiculous because you're really mad or you're just in it.
Oh, hey, look, it's another magic
Yeah,
card.
exactly.
6 minutes, 5
Go
hands.
for it.
When you're doing the stopping for recording, are you actually stopping the recording, or are you continuously recording and then just leaving the buffer periods that you talked about earlier in?
For solo stuff, I cut all the time. For power plays, I'll say, and see you next time. Wait 5 seconds. Welcome back. Just like that, because I've got somebody else with me and whatnot.
Guy in the back.
I got an interesting question actually now that you were talking about certain Let's Players they want to explain that they change.
Yeah.
And you have favoritism, like you like to watch them. I have a thesis channel, do Let's Play for Minecraft, about 80,000 subscribers. Nice. I actually happen to know Jordan, Captain Sparkles. How do you feel, or since you're the expert, how do you feel with somebody who actually been doing Let's Plays like for 2 years for Minecraft, wanting to change to something new, knowing that your audience is not really as they are not willing to accept any other kind of Let's Play?
It's tough, especially if you've gotten really popular from playing like something like Minecraft.
Yeah.
Because people who watch a lot of people who watch Minecraft just watch Minecraft. Or a lot of people who watch COD just watch COD. Sometimes they don't want to watch other things. That's why so you could either make a second channel, you could alternate uploads, you could do a Minecraft episode this day, do whatever episode this day. Sort of like, how the Game Grumps do like 3 videos a day?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to watch. No, not everybody's watching all 3 videos. They're watching maybe Pokemon to see how long it takes Aaron to get
Well,
through
the Nostalgia Critic actually did this. Is he was doing a review every week, and he's like, I just can't do it anymore. So he started doing editorials, and then he did it every second week. So you're still providing the content that people come to your channel for, but it's just at a slower pace because you yourself are not a machine, right?
Exactly. We have to.
Well, we have 4 minutes.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So.
Gary, there. 4 minutes. Go.
Thumbnails are important. How do you guys do them? Yeah.
Photoshop and Magic.
Yeah. Photoshop and Magic. Yeah.
Look up a Photoshop tutorial or GIMP or whatever you can get your hands on. They're not too difficult. I don't even spend like 5 minutes on them.
I usually like to use one still image and then just change part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. I don't like to go into every video and
Find the box art, put part 7, put your logo, bam, it's done.
You last.
So what do you like? I heard you say about post commentary, and what about like text on the video that you can just add in that aren't subtitles?
I'm not a big fan of the ones where there's no commentary and they're just writing everything in text.
Yeah.
Oh, that exists?
Not engaging.
Yeah, it exists.
Yeah, totally
Those are
out
Let's
there.
Plays apparently. You can, if there's something coming up that you didn't mention, like Runaway Guys does this a lot, saying Chugga is going to yell in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Turn your headphones down. Put that in there because some people don't have the best ears.
Or if you make a mistake, you're like, that guy has 8 HP and he's got like 20. You know, like you can be like, haha, I'm an idiot. And that's what I like to sort of throw in every once in a while.
If you get something wrong and you realize it while editing, just like put in a text thing to say, actually, I'm an idiot, blah, blah, blah. So.
Or like in brackets, kind of like obviously wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
We're done?
Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah.